Hello and welcome to this tutorial on how to create and use a chat session for Tandem Canada. First, on the dashboard, it is important to understand where you can create an activity and more specifically, a chat session activity. Here we are in the account of Michelle Priego, an ESL teacher. She could create an activity in her own class box as well as the Tandem shared box, but not in the box of her partner teacher, Linda Smith. Indeed, she could consult activities in that box, but she could not create any activities in that box. If she decides to create an activity in her own box, that means that her students would have access to the activity, but not Linda Smith's students. As such, if she wants to create a Tandem activity, she needs to do so in the Tandem French 201 2.3 box, and that's what we will do for this tutorial. Please note that the creation process is the same for both boxes. Now that we are in the class box, the first step to create our activity is to click on the Turn Editing On button at the top of the screen. Please note that at any time you can turn editing off by clicking on the button once more. Next, you must go to the bottom of the page, identify the plus, and click on Add an Activity or Resource. This will lead you to the Add an Activity or Resource page in which you can choose which type of activity you wish to create. The most common ones are big blue button activities, which are video conferencing activities, chat, forum, or wiki activities. Here, you must choose Chat and click on Add. Then, a list of options will be made available. We will review them one by one as some of them are very important for your chat session. First, you need to give a name for your chat room. This also corresponds to the name of the activity. For example, Week 1, Animals. Under the name of the chat room, you need to write a description. For example, share with your partner. If you wish the description to be made available for your students, you need to click on Display Description on Course page. Next, let us review the chat session options. This is where you will decide on the frequency of your chat sessions. First, you need to decide on the next or first chat time. Following this, you need to decide on the frequency. You can decide to not publish any chat times, keeping control on when chat sessions will begin. You can also decide to only publish one date, the one you chose, in the next chat time section. You can also decide to publish the same time every day or at the same time every week. Next, you need to decide on saving past sessions. You can keep all messages, never deleting them, or you can choose to delete them at certain intervals. Finally, you need to decide if you allow other people to see the past sessions. If you click on No, only you will be able to see them. Next, it is important to review the common module settings. First, you need to make sure that the availability is Show on Course page. Secondly, you need to make sure that group mode is in separate groups. This way, students will be able to discuss with their partners only and not with the whole group. Following the common module settings, you can ignore Restrict Access and move on directly to activity completion. First, you need to decide on when you want the completion to happen. First, you can decide not to indicate any activity completion or let your students mark the activity as completed. Finally, you can decide to complete the activity only when certain conditions are met. However, for Tandem Learning, we suggest that you let students mark the activity as completed. Finally, you can decide to set a date at which time the activity should be completed. If you decide to do so, you need to click on Enable. Finally, you can overlook tags and competencies and move on directly to saving. You can either save and return to the courses page, or you can save and display the activity page. For this tutorial, we will save and return to the course page. This can take a few seconds. Once in the course page, it is recommended that you turn editing off by clicking on the button. Then, you can scroll down to locate your activity, in this case, Week 1 Animals. As you can see, a chat symbol has been added next to your activity as well as your description. To access the activity, click on the title. You will then access your activities page, including the title and description. Under the description, you have a list of all the groups available for the chat session. If you wish to enter a chat session, you need to click on Click Here to enter the chat now. This will open the chat box at the top left corner of the page. If you wish to make the box bigger, you need to click on Maximize. The Tandem Canada chat software works like many other similar software. All you need to do is click in the box at the bottom of the page and write your message. For example, hello. And click on Send. This will add your message to the chat box. To your right, you can see all the different users who now have access to the chat. If you wish to exit the chat, all you need to do is click on the top right corner X and go back to the activities page.